2020 Tacoma, first 6 months of ownership. How's it doing? Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So, I've had the Toyota Tacoma, the 2020 Tacoma now for 6 months, and just kind of want to get on here and talk a little bit about how it's doing. You know, I've done a lot of things to it. If you watch the channel, there have been, I don't even know how many mods I've done now to this truck. But I'm not really on here to talk about the mods, more so just the truck itself. In other words, if you go out and pick up a 2020 Tacoma, what can you expect? Well, first of all, let me say the trim that I have is the off-road version, and it is a manual transmission. So I know right away that there aren't a lot of people out there that are going to have a manual transmission. It's a dying breed, unfortunately. But it's what I wanted, and it's what I have. So let's start with the manual transmission. You know, when I first got the truck, I kind of dogged it a little bit, to be honest. Said that it was clunky, didn't like reverse, which I still don't, and generally just kind of dated, really, you know, as compared to some of the other manual transmissions out there. Maybe not a fair comparison, because what I've looked at with other manuals are really in cars, and they tend to be a little bit more refined, I guess, than what you would find in a truck. But I don't think that's really necessary. Why can't we have the same refined manual transmission in a truck? I don't know. Anyway, so how is it doing now? 6 months later, 6 months after my first drive, it's gotten better. Now, I don't know if I've gotten better or it's gotten better, but it seems to be smoother. It's still clunky. It's not as clunky as it felt before. Reverse is still over and up to the left, which is in the wrong place in my opinion, but I've gotten used to it. I haven't accidentally put it into reverse sitting at a stoplight lately anyway, because first is of course right beside reverse. But I'd say it's pretty good. There's always room for improvement, of course, but it's fun to drive. I got the manual because I love driving a manual transmission, and it hasn't disappointed, so I like it. Bottom line is, it's pretty darn good. No issues with the manual transmission other than how it inherently is, I guess. So what about mechanically? You know, I have a 2020 Jeep Gladiator, and not long ago I had a check engine light come on. You know, the horror of every new vehicle owner, right? I mean, you don't want to get a new vehicle and have a check engine light show up. I haven't had anything like that in the Tacoma. There hasn't been any kind of malfunction whatsoever that I can think of. No check engine lights, that's for sure. No hiccups with the radio. That was another thing I had in the Gladiator. The radio had a black screen one day for no reason. I don't know why. Haven't had that happen in the Tacoma, thank goodness. Everything has been very spot on and reliable. The only little hiccup, I guess there is one little hiccup, and that's at start. There have been, and not recently, early on, a couple of times when I would start the truck, it would act like it was going to start up, and then it wouldn't. It would just die. Like it almost started, but it didn't, and I had to restart it. That happened a couple of times early on. I gotta say, that hasn't happened recently, and I think maybe part of the problem is that I just needed to get used to how, this sounds really dumb, but how you start the truck, right? You have to hold the key just a little bit longer in the start position for it to really kick in, take effect, if you will. I think I was doing it too quickly. I would turn it, and as soon as I heard or felt the truck try to start, I would let off the key. And I think the Tacoma, at least mine, needs a little bit longer than that. We're talking about a split second here. We're not talking about having to hold it down for 3 minutes or something. So it just takes a little bit longer to kick in, and I think I've gotten used to that, and that now I hold it a little bit longer because I'm aware of the couple of issues I had in the past. So that was really the only thing, now that I think about it. From a fit and finish standpoint, man, everything is spot on. You know, a lot of people like to dog the Tacoma, or Toyota in general, about having soft paint. You know, Honda's another one that people talk about having soft paint. I gotta say that I haven't noticed any chips or anything on the front of the truck that to me would kind of define soft paint for whatever it is. I did have a chip on the bed on the back, but I think that was probably a paint bubble or something that came from the factory. It didn't happen after I had the truck. I don't know how anything could have possibly jumped over the truck, hit the side of the lip of the bed back there and chipped it. I don't know how that could have happened. So I think it came that way. It was really a manufacturing defect, if you will, I think. So I'm happy with that. No scratches, no chips. Everything fits properly. What about rattles? Well, that's another thing, a little pet peeve of mine, I guess. When you get in a new vehicle, particularly, and there are rattles or squeaks or any kind of weird noise, and you guys are sitting in here with me right now, you can hear what I'm hearing. There's nothing. I mean, it's dead silent as far as that kind of thing goes. No creaks or weird noises or rattles or anything like that. And I'm very happy about that because, like I said, that is a pretty big pet peeve of mine, especially on something new. It should be quiet. So that's pretty good. Kudos to Toyota there, keeping things quiet inside the cab. As far as the new features go, you know, I got this truck so I could experience the new seats. It's the 10-way power adjustable seats, of course. The leather I hadn't had before, and the 360-degree cam system. We'll start with the cam system. I gotta say, it's pretty darn cool. I use it all the time because of the tightness of the area I live. So I'm always backing in and out of places, and that aerial view is pretty much spot on. I can get within, I don't know, maybe a couple of inches of the edge of the pavement where the grass meets it, I guess. And it's fantastic because I'm always parking there, and that overhead view is spot on. I love it. Comes in handy for me all the time. And I know, you know, the real purpose of it, of course, is for off-roading. You're supposed to be able to get a good view, see what's around you and what's coming up. But there are other practical uses, like backing up and seeing how close you are to things in everyday driving. So it comes in very handy for me. The 10-way power adjustable seats, man, they make the truck feel like a truck. You know, my 2018 Tacoma had that weird seating position where you were sitting back, your rear end was down, your legs were up, and it just wasn't comfortable for me. I had to put spacers in to get it the way that I wanted, more of a level feel. And I can achieve that with the new seats in the Tacoma. I think Toyota was a little late to the game in doing it, but now we have it, and they are fantastic. I can put the seat in a position that I'm comfortable in, and I love it. I think that if you're looking for a new truck and you have a choice between maybe a 2019 and a 2020 with the power adjustable seats, it's well worth it for sure. The other thing, I guess, is the technology that's in it. The new radio, of course, it has a little bit bigger screen in it, or that's what I opted for when I built the truck. And everything has been spot on. I love the Apple CarPlay when I'm trying to, and I do have navigation, but I find I plug the phone in and use the phone for navigation anyway, which, by the way, should be, I think, removed from the radio itself. I mean, why do you need to have a radio with navigation when you have Apple CarPlay and you can plug your phone in and have your map on the screen? I don't know, unless you're using your phone a lot at the same time and don't want to have it paired up with the screen that way. But otherwise, it'd be cool to have an option where you have all the other features on the radio but not navigation, and reduce the cost of it by not having it. I think that would be a good way to go, and a good way to keep the cost down a little bit. So overall, gotta say, I love the truck. It is awesome. I think I've found as close to Nirvana as I can with this truck. I mean, it is a truck after all. I realize that. It's not going to ride like a sports car. It's not going to shift like a Lamborghini. But still, it is fun to drive. I am happy that I opted for the manual transmission and that I switched out for the 2020 with all of the improvements and the updates, I guess. It wasn't a rebuild. It was more of a redesign. It was more of a refresh, I guess. So, thumbs up. First 6 months have been awesome. Can't wait for the next 6 months, and hopefully everything will continue as is. Anyway, if you've got a 2020, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of it. What has your experience been? Any troubles, any issues, and how do you like it? Also, real quick, if you haven't before and you're interested, you know what's coming, right? Have a look at my other channel. It is RobMotive JT, all about my 2020 Jeep Gladiator. Don't forget to smash that notification button so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. And do me a favor, hit that subscribe button on the way out. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there.